I want to actually go back for a second to some things that I was thinking about because of what you were saying about the tracking. And like I think that there's the first thing that I thought of was like how allyship is so often a performance. And when if your allyship practice, I'm doing air quotes, is a performance, then like if you do something quote unquote wrong, right? Like it hits harder,
Yeah.
right? Like that
Like to
fear of
throw
like,
some tomatoes at you if you do the performance.
yeah, yeah. So like, instead of like being able to frame it as like a course correction, right? Where it's like, this is part of like the natural, way of progressing towards a goal, you're like, I can't screw up. I don't want anyone to see it. And, I think that's one of the costs of, allyship being a performance. And then, when you were talking about like tracking that joyful feeling, I think that's something that's so different about the way that you present these concepts, right? Is that like, you know, there are a lot of folks who think that like you can track your effectiveness in allyship by like how bad you feel about yourself, how
Yeah.
guilty you feel, right? And like you were the first person who was like, yeah, that's not effective because if you aren't having a good time, you're not going to keep showing up. Like that's not how human beings work. So if we want an effective allyship practice, like it should feel good, right? It should feel joyful or it should feel satisfying or, like you should be able to be like, yeah, I had an impact. That feels great. And so thinking about like how that you said at one point in time, and this is like another one of those things that just like stuck with me that I re-reference all the time and have shared with other folks. You said that one of the like sort of gifts of like having a specific goal that you're tracking your progress towards, right, is that like other people don't know what your goal is. Like, I mean, unless you've like explicitly told them, like they don't know. So folks might have a judgment or a critique of your allyship or your practice, but they don't actually have enough information to judge or critique your path towards your goal because they don't know what your goal is, right? So you were like, you can like kind of take it or leave it. You could consider that there might be something useful there. If it is, to go ahead and take it, but like you don't have to because they don't have enough information. So it doesn't like say they're bad or you're bad. It's just like they don't have the information that is needed. So I think that's like something when I'm feeling a little like, that little like squeeze of like, oh no, what if I screwed up and somebody saw it and I'm what are they going to think of me? I'm like, this is just not course correct. They don't have enough information, but I have enough information, right, to look at what am I trying to do? How am I doing? Right. And do I need to make any course corrections to be doing a better job at what I'm trying to accomplish? Could I be more effective? And like when that becomes the focus of how like I interact with my own effectiveness and my own allyship practice, then that was like the big change for me.